Three of my favourite nights of the year. State of Origin Game 1 gets kicked off this Wednesday.
Where are you going with this?
Mate, this is like Christmas to me. I absolutely love State of Origin, as you already know.
Yep.
We haven't touched on the head-to-head prices yet.
No, we haven't.
For the first time in what feels like forever, the Maroons are the favourites.
No, they're underdogs. Surely they're the underdogs.
They're the moral underdogs. I think they're at $1.77 to New South Wales, $2.05.
Yep.
Obviously, there's been a bit of turbulence in the Blues camp. Teddy's come in.
Yes.
Dylan Edwards is out.
Yep.
Where do you see it going in your completely unbiased opinion?
Yeah, look, I am from New South Wales, but I'll come at this from a footy fan rather than a Blues fan. Yeah, it's probably a reaction to the late change with Dylan Edwards coming out. Queensland's shortening up a bit over the last few days. I think they probably deserve to be favourites just in terms of squad continuity and cohesion. We've got the bulk of that Maroon squad has played a lot of footy together over the last few seasons. But I think it's going to be a close game.
It's New South Wales home game. The home field just doesn't play a part in it anymore these days.
Yeah, well, apparently we don't get it down there, so maybe
I could say that.
maybe that's got something to do with it.
Let's talk try scorers.
Yep.
The points line's very low, so the bookies aren't expecting a lot of points in this one, and there's a bit of rain around Sydney at the moment. But Oscar, where do you think the points are going to come from in this one?
Yeah, look, it's hard to tell, especially for New South Wales. It's difficult to kind of predict how they're going to attack. We've got some clues based on the roster that Maguire has picked for this one. I think Reece Robson over Api Coruscant gives us a big hint as to the very direct, kind of simple power game. I think New South Wales are going to play around the ruck rather than using Api Coruscant's playmaking and his craft. You got a guy in Robson who can fire really good passes left and right, get New South Wales wide, up at that C and D defenders wide of the ruck in yardage. In terms of good ball, there's aerial targets on both edges for the Blues. Suoli'i, presuming he plays left centre, and then on the right side, Stephen Crichton and Zach Lomax on the wing. It feels to me like Maguire's picked a Blues side that's going to be competitive and really tough and gritty in yardage and happy to win this game off a little scrappy kick in good ball. So, yeah, I think Suoli'i at $4.20 or Lomax at $2.50 are both really good value. Hines coming down that left edge, down the Blues left edge and getting at Daly Cherry Evans and Valentine Holmes, which has been an area that the Blues have tried to target over the last few series. So for that reason, I like Suoli'i there as well.
Let's touch on man of the match. We've already talked about it a little bit, but I want to go a little bit deeper into it. Reece Walsh is the short price favourite at $6.
Very short.
That's one of the shortest we've seen in a while, and that's with teams with Cleary and Cameron Munster.
Yep.
Who's your pick for the man of the match? Can you give me one from both sides?
From both sides? Yeah, well, you tried to catch me out with this last week for a man of the series. I think if I'm expecting New South Wales to play that tough, gritty kind of style through the middle of the field, I think it's going to have to be one of the big boys. So Payne Haas for me is a key player for the Blues in game one.
$17 for the big scrum pig.
Yeah, nice. And then probably the same theory on the other side of the ball for Queensland, whether it's through the middle or we know they like to move the ball edge to edge and get Reece Walsh involved on the tram lines. I think the work that Pat Carrigan does around the ruck for Queensland is pretty undeniable. So yeah, I like him there as well.
Paddy Carrigan, $13, just like the number on his back. Yep. You also wanted to talk a little bit about Lady Origin. That gets started on Thursday.
It does.
Game 2. Obviously, Queensland went down in the first one.
Yep, up the Blues. We get something.
Apparently. Tell me what you know about Thursday night's game.
Yeah, so Newcastle sold out for game 2 of the 3-game Women's Origin Series, which is the first time that the girls have had a 3-game series, which is outstanding for the women's game. For the Blues, their back five were just dominant in game 1. Over 650 metres between their two wingers, centres and fullback. They just feasted on the work that those girls were doing out of yardage to camp on Queensland's line. They scored a couple of early tries. Some of the ball playing through the middle of the field. I just talked about Pat Carrigan for Queensland. Olivia Koenig for the Blues did a hell of a job of that in game 1. I like the Blues right edge testing a new look left edge for the Queensland Maroons in this one. Lauren Brown has been named out there in the centres and Ivania Politi on the wings. Lauren's a 7 or a 9, and Avani's probably a fullback or a centre. So some new looks on that left edge for the Maroons. I think Kezi Apps at $5.50 and Jess Surgis at $3.20 a really good value for the Blues.
Very nice. New South Wales are $1.52. The Maroons are $2.55. A little bit of a contrast to the men's game.
Yeah.
Can the Maroons claw this back and make it 1-1?
Yeah, 100%. They've made some changes. I just mentioned Lauren Brown and Politi, but the big one is Ali Brigginshaw moving back into the 7 jumper. She played in the forward pack in game 1 through the middle of the field and did a fair job. She's played that role there before for the Maroons, but she's one of the most experienced playmakers in the NRLW. I think it was a right move to move her into 7. I think we're going to see Emma Manzelmann play a bit more footy this time around as well. She came off the bench and played at dummy half for the Maroons in game 1 and really changed the momentum in that second half. I think if she spends a bit more time on the field, I think Queensland had every chance of tightening up the series. Tamika Upton at $2.55, Julia Robinson at $2.80, and Manzelmann, who I just mentioned, paying $9.50 in a bench roll as of Monday morning. So, yeah, I think Queensland are well and truly in this one.
Yeah, very nice. The line set at 4.5 points, that one. Tough line to pick.
That is a tough one to pick.
If you had to choose one side of that line, where are you sitting?
I'll give Queensland a head start there.
Very nice. All right, so can you just run back to your favourite picks for me in that game?
For the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kezi Apps at $5.50 and Jess Surgis at $3.20. They're both the right back rower and right centre for the Blues. And then for Queensland, I think Tamika Upton, the best player in the world at fullback, $2.55. Julia Robinson at $2.80, one of the best finishers in the game, and Emma Manzelmann for a bit of value at $9.50 off the bench.
All right, very nice. Well, great chatting to you, Oscar, but I hate you until about Thursday morning.
Go the Blues.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.